So yesterday, Dudley Simpson passed away, and he, of course, was the main composer uh, of classic Doctor Who. In the '70s, he did most of the '70s stories. He's really the Murray Gold of classic Doctor Who. If Doctor Who had never returned, I think people would remember, classic Doctor Who for the '70s primarily. That was the strongest era from Pertwee well into Tom Baker, and Dudley Simpson had a great deal to do with gave it its unique sound to the music, and it was really a large part of the soundtrack to my childhood, and sadly he's very underrepresented on Spotify because very few of his recordings of the original sessions exist. Because they put out a 50th anniversary soundtrack, and it's on Spotify, and he's only represented in 3 tracks, and it's not because he should have been in there a lot more, but they have this one track by it's from the Invasion of Time. It's a very typical Dudley Simpson track. This, I mean, if you were to sum up my childhood, this is the music to do it with. Just has that, I don't know, it's very cozy for me. Like, this is what he kind of settled into. This, it's all horn section. Oh god, it's great. Because in the early '70s, like a lot of his John Pertwee stories, they're more experimental, a little more electronic, a little bit, like ahead of its time in terms of because from the '80s onward, it was all electronic, and it's really sad that he was fired by John Nathan Turner. I mean, Turner felt, I guess, maybe fairly, that there was a sameness to the music, but you listen to the guy had a lot of range. He also, sorry, I'm distracted by my neighbor. He seems to be crying on his phone. But a few years ago, I watched the entire John Pertwee era. I'd seen a lot of it, but I hadn't seen it all. So I watched all of it straight through, and I'd never seen Ambassadors of Death before. And I'd always heard bad things about it, but I thought it was great, and I love his score. It's so unique sounding, very different from everything else he did. And this is just a reconstruction by Mark Ayres. Has that mod feeling to it. I don't know. It also feels a lot like the later music, again, from the 80s. I don't know. I could listen to Dudley Simpson all day. Unfortunately, there's not much. Most of what they have on Spotify is from other shows. He composed a lot. And of course, when I did Doctor Who and the Planet of Goo, which was kind of it's a pastiche of the entire '70s. I was trying to cram the entire, send up all of '70s Who in one go. And I asked my friend Chloe, who's a great composer, if she wanted to try to, do some '70s style Doctor Who music. And I went on YouTube to look for clips of Dudley Simpson, and then I found a clip where some guy had taken a scene from Shada, which of course was never finished, but it had been put on VHS with this awful score by Keith McCullough, where he was trying to sound like Dudley Simpson, but it didn't sound like him at all. But this guy on YouTube had taken a scene from that and made it, composed his own Dudley Simpson style music, and it sounded perfect. I never thought like electronic music could get that close to his sound, but it was so perfect. And I almost sent that clip to Chloe, and then I thought, why don't I just ask this guy to do it? And I felt bad because Chloe had already agreed to do it. But the thing is, like, this guy had a sense of the music where only someone who'd spent hours and hours just absorbing it, it was in his yeah. And so it just seemed effortless. He knew how to create a score that just sounded perfect. And because I never finished Planet of Goo, I still have music of his that I never used, that I feel bad about. Let's listen to that, it's perfect. Yeah, this was the exciting conveyor belt chase at the very end. Ugh. I don't think I'm ever gonna finish this, it's way too late. Yeah, it's a shame it had a good ending. But anyway, so now I'm just playing fake Dudley Simpson. But so yeah, just wanted to talk about Dudley. He was an important part of classic Who, and it's sad. He lived. He was very old. So lived a long, good life, and yeah, rest in peace, Dudley.